What was your name?
Devon Weaver.
Devon, I'm Shannon. Yeah. Nice to meet you. You're one of the engineers, one of many here, right?
Yep. Everything in our division, we have a team of 6.
Okay, that's cool. And so how long have you been working in the RV industry?
I've been in the RV industry for almost 15 years.
Okay.
I was in production for a little over 10 years.
Okay.
And started out basically doing cabinets, cabinet shop, working for a competitor. And then I came to work for Maynard in electrical at Puma and worked on the line there for about 5.5 years.
Okay.
Then I left for a while and came back, helped Maynard start Plant 425, started out in purchasing over there.
And that was a Puma plant?
That was a Puma plant, Plant 425 here in Ligonier.
Okay.
And then once he wanted to go down this path of starting something different, we obviously had no idea what we were getting into. So we did a lot of research, went to a lot of shows, looked at a lot of ideas, got people's ideas on it. At that time, we had no idea that RVs and overlanding was anything different.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of RV people that don't realize that still to this day. But it's a different crowd.
It is. A lot of people compare them, and it's like, no, you almost can't.
One of the first shows we went to, there was no RVs there, so we were asking around, like, where's a traditional RV? Are there none here? And we were told pretty quickly that they're not allowed here. That's hilarious. Don't categorize us in the same category.
Is that interesting?
But somebody said that the difference between the two is an RV, it's about the destination, and overlanding, it's about the journey. So we really took that information to heart. They're out there and they're moving.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're going through mud, you're going through all kinds of difficult trails.
Yeah.
And
climbing rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Moab.
Yeah.
So what's been the design process that you've seen from a traditional RV to the Pause? Like, what's the biggest difference between?
The biggest difference is there's absolutely not one SKU, not one item that we've ever used before.
Oh.
Not one. So everything from the tires to the axle to the frame to the composite walls, the process of putting it all together is everything is different than we have ever done it before. That in itself, when I took over engineering, I had a platform to start out with. If we wanted to do a proto, there was things to look off of, there was processes that we, would follow.
Yeah.
And here there were none. So
wow,
we had to figure that all out. That's why it took a while.
That's incredible. It's because some of the things that I've heard just from some of the naysayers, I should say, as the product was kind of getting released in the beginning, people were like, oh, it's just a standard RV. It's Palomino. And you're saying that there's not one SKU pretty much on this trailer that you can find. And not to say bad about any other manufacturers, but like Ember is an example of, I got really excited when I saw it, when I heard about it, I should say.
Right.
And when I went to actually see it and walk through it, I was like, this is like a standard trailer with some cool things that they've done on it.
Everybody started kind of doing their off-road package.
Yeah.
Winnebago Hike.
Yeah.
Ember. And that's not what overlanding is.
Yeah, and that's not what you guys wanted to do. Right. You wanted to completely...
Correct.
I'm not saying like we're all that, but I wouldn't have been carrying it if I didn't feel that way.
Right.
But it's neat to, hear it. It doesn't feel like a standard trailer. You walk through that thing and everything about it feels more robust, stronger.
Well, the first time that you see that suspension crawl over a rock or go over a hump in the path or whatever it may be, first time you see that, you realize it's not your normal RV.
Yeah, that thing is articulating like a Jeep, just climbing over stuff.
When we took the unit to Navistar, we didn't know for sure what it was going to do. And we had a crowd of probably 20 guys there. And we started going through the military course, our jaws were on the floor. We were...
Wow.
we didn't realize it was going to do that.
Yeah. And the travel, the 12 inches of travel is just, it's unheard of for any trailer on the market. Like it's almost twice as much as the next best one out there. So that's really impressive. So working with Maynard, what is that like as far as, is he pretty steady doing the same things or does he change it up? A little bit of innovation happening?
Yeah, he changes it up every day. I always tell the team, the team sometimes gets frustrated with all the different ideas and things that come across the board. But we most certainly wouldn't be where we're at if it wouldn't be for not taking no for an answer. I mean, I learned a long time ago that if there is something that doesn't work, and there are a lot of things that don't work.
Yeah.
But if there is something that doesn't work, we don't just go to him and say, hey, this doesn't work. There needs to be an explanation and a reason why it doesn't work. And you need to also look at if something is not working, you need to keep working at it and see if there's another avenue or another trail that you can go down to make it work, because this has been a tough journey.
Yeah.
And it's been a hard journey, and there's been people that have been wanting to not go on with it. I mean, because it's so hard. I think we're kind of over that hump now where we kind of have more processes in place and things like that. So that helps a lot.
As you were saying some of those things, it sounds like another famous guy named Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
That's how some of his employees would actually describe him was, you know, you could never go back and say, this is impossible. You had to go back and really give a reason for it and explain, because it was always this demanding, let's make something. And I've been here for only 2 days, and I have been like, whenever Maynard leaves the room, I'm like, so how's it working with Maynard? And everybody has just been like, I love it. You know, it's exciting. Yeah. One of the guys back there, he's like, you know, I've been in the industry for over 20 years, and he's like, it's just started getting old. And this has like breathed life into my soul. It's just so new and so cool and so innovative and different. It's not like anything he's ever done or been a part of. So it's exciting. I can sense that. I can sense there's this fun.
Right.
I mean, it's hard, right? When you're doing all these new things.
It is hard, but it's also the reason that not a lot of other people or other brands are not necessarily going to be successful at it.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that are going to try to copy us pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But I think a lot of them are going to give up.
Yeah.
Because they're either not going to know how to figure it out. I mean, a lot of this stuff that now looks simple and easy is in 2 years worth of work.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not that we succeeded at first at all. So
well, we went to that back lot and saw a bunch of the first protos and things that you were doing.
Yeah, and that's also why you see out here in the proto room where we mock stuff up out of wood and things like that, because it's faster and easier to try to get the concept down before we move on into actually developing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's amazing how by doing something like that, just the idea that you get with space, right? Mm-hmm. We were putting up cabinets and trying to sense, is this a good spot to put it? And it's really smart. I think it's a good way to go about it. So what's some of the things that you can share with us that you're working on that's exciting and new? Because it sounds like you're working on new things every day.
We are. We're working on a lot of different stuff at the same time, between Puma and Pause and some other new additions. Or
what about the Pause? What are some of the new pauses that...
There's a 16.4 coming out that you've seen out here that we're working on.
That is amazing, by the way.
We're hoping it can be a single axle and in that weight range of 5,000 pounds.
So tow it with a half ton or potentially a Jeep Gladiator is the goal, I think.
Yep.
And that will sleep how many people? What's the goal on that one?
Well, it sleeps 4.
4 adults?
Yeah. It'll sleep 4. It'll definitely sleep 2 adults and 2 children very easily.
Yeah, very easily. A queen size bed and a full.
Right. Dinette goes down to a full.
Yeah, and then also over 70 gallons of water, which is crazy.
Correct.
That's what. Yep. And potentially 1,080 amp hours of lithium battery in that thing too.
Correct.
And 600 watts of solar on the roof, right? Is that what we...
That's what we're shooting for at this time. I mean, we haven't figured all of that.
Yeah, just some of those.
Yeah.
That's
what we're shooting for.
That's pretty exciting. There's another floor plan that you guys are working on.
We're working on a Pause refresh. We're trying to take a little bit of money out of it and maybe a little bit more weight.
Yeah.
Maybe hit more of the beginner overlander. So that's one thing that we're developing. And then we're also doing the 21.4, which is going to be a bunk model.
I think I saw.
That's going to be one that maybe is more of a working, like if you want to go out and
travel and work.
The Moab and do some, if you can get reception out there, I guess.
Oh yeah, Starlink, right? So can we talk a little bit about the refresh? A lot of the complaints that we get just from people on YouTube is saying, man, all these cool trailers you're making are all over $100,000, right? The idea behind the refresh is it's going to be under $100,000. As we've been going through this tour, you know, it's like we just met with the wrap people, and she is like, this is a premium automotive wrap with all the badges are automotive, and that adds a lot of cost to it. And so you're talking about doing smaller graphics, which the quality is not going to drop. You're going to, peel back some of those things that are kind of premium and still have a really premium trailer, but just potentially have something that's under 100, which is exciting.
Correct.
Is that enough tees? So that's stay tuned for that. I mean, we saw a prototype of it out there, and the floor plan on it. It's fabulous. It's really, really great. I'm excited to see that one actually rolling. So the 21.4, do you have a 3D rendering of it, or you just have a floor plan? Okay.
I don't. It's the only thing I've got right now.
Right along here, you have a double bunk.
Yeah.
Double bunk. Is this going to be
Storage from the outside.
Oh wow, that's really cool. And then what's going on? This is
that's a desk. So this is basically a desk with a chair, and then it's going to have right above the desk is going to be a window, and then above that is going to be an entertainment center.
Okay, that's really cool. And then that's the main, and it looks like you have a sink and toilet in here. I guess this is kind of more like the 20.2.
It is. Yep.
For the bathroom area.
It's exactly the same.
Only you have a sink and in here, and which you are doing in the new 20.2s,
yes.
but a fridge, stove, sink.
Yep.
That's a really nice looking. So that will be really cool. A lot of people are asking for this 21.4. So
this one is 8 inches longer.
Okay, so it is a little bit longer too, overall.
8 inches. Yep.
Okay, that's good to know too. So a little bit longer, and super impressed. This has been a fun visit. We've learned a lot, and I think it's exciting to see the passion and the excitement behind the whole team that's working on it.
Yep.
But it's because you're working on building some of the coolest stuff out there.
Well, I think everybody on the team feels like we're working on stuff that's going to be the future.
Yeah.
In the RV industry. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I feel like, for instance, the composite walls that we're dealing with, composite floor, and the roof and stuff, that's what's going to be the future.
They gave me a sledgehammer out there to hammer at it, and I felt like a wuss. I was hitting that thing as hard as I could, and I like, there's little marks on it. And I even have a good aim. I was hitting it in the same spot over and over. And my dad's a home builder, and it was so funny. I was just talking to him over the Easter weekend, and he was like, yeah, I had an engineer come looking at one of my job sites, and he's like, Dave is his name. He's like, we don't even know how long this glue is going to hold the plywood together. Like, we don't really know. He's like, and the TGI I-beams, right? He's like, it's all just glued together. Plywood is just a bunch of pieces of wood glued. And he's like, and we're putting it on all of our houses across America. And he's like, we don't even know what's happening underneath the shingles half of the time. And it makes sense that we move to composites and these materials that are way stronger and just more resilient long term. So very cool. Yeah. Well, nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we really enjoy that.
Coming out.
Yeah, thank you.